And remember, Craft Academy is a very special concept, really, where rather than spending a few minutes demonstrating, we spend the whole hour demonstrating a different craft in different shows. And this whole hour has been dedicated to Pergamano. We've talked about an awful lot of the aspects of cutting and embossing and so on, but we're going to, for the final part of the show, move on to the colouring aspect, which I never really thought about. I always thought about the shading and the piercing, but not the colouring, really.
Well, you can colour with a number of things. You can colour with paint, we can paint with inks, we can paint with felt tips, or the really easiest way to do it, particularly if you're a beginner and you've got your felt tips, is to colour with felt tips. So
and just what, these are special colours though, what, special pens?
These are our these are our Pergamano pens, so they are lovely. So this is one that we traced earlier using our felt tips, and I've done the embossing and I let it rest and I've re-embossed it so it's nice and white there, isn't it? And then all I'm going to do is turn it over and I'm going to colour on the reverse.
Oh, never colour on the front?
You can colour on the front if you're going to paint, but bear in mind if you colour on the front, your embossing won't show through white because it'll be quite matte on the front. So if you want your embossing to show through, which I do, colour on the back after you've embossed, because if you do it before you're embossed, you can't see it anyway.
Right.
So, and this is real no skills colour in this. We're just filling an area with felt tip.
Because all the texture and the shading has already been done by the
embossing
earlier on.
That's it. So if you are going to paint on the front, bear in mind that your painting has to reflect some of your shadow and your highlights in there because your embossing is not going to show through. So before I turn this over, because I love turning this over because it goes real wow.
Do some people choose to keep it just white and add no colour whatsoever?
Absolutely, yeah. Right. Yeah, just depends on what effect you would like. Whether you want a coloured one or you want a plain one. And it's quite interesting to do the same design in a coloured finish and in a white finish.
Now, looking at the back as we are and colouring in the back as we are, it looks very bright and very
vivid. Doesn't look great, does it? It's.
But I presume when it's turned over, it's a totally different
we're going to have a wow moment when we turn it over, so I'm going to string it out as long as I can. So we're going to do lots of this dreadful colouring. And you look at this and you think this woman's never coloured before in her life. But it's going to look super, promise. Trust me, I've done it before. It just really is bright, this colour, isn't it?
You're getting nervous now.
I am now, actually,
Is it too bright? Is it too bright?
I forgot one that I prepared earlier that wasn't quite so bright and blingy. No, it'll be fine, absolutely fine.
Well, I personally think you've converted an awful lot of people today.
I hope so, because I hope we've got over the misconception that it takes a lot of time or that it's really complicated to do, because it really isn't. This is so easy to do. I
mean, all that you've done in the last, 55 minutes so far has been fantastic. And that's with talking as well to me. And, if you're just doing it at home, undistracted yourself, you'd have got even more done.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But it's just so relaxing. And sometimes it's difficult to talk just because you are so relaxed and it's just so lovely to do.
So people come up to you if you're doing Pergamano away from home, maybe, I don't know, when you've got a few minutes, maybe on a journey somewhere, do people always come up and ask you what you're up to?
Yes, yeah. A lot of people haven't seen it, and I always it's a bit like when you paint, and when you paint a picture and it's not great to start with, is it? There's a point where it goes from not being great to being, oh, actually, that's okay. I like them to come at the, oh, actually, that's okay moment, rather than, that's not great.
5 minutes, please?
Yeah, it's resting at the moment. It will look better, I promise you. Perhaps leave one that's already done out.
Yeah, I'm not quite ready for you yet. Please come back.
And I'm actually going to finish this colouring, I think, if we've got, or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll leave that one. Oh, it's okay.
Is it all right?
It's all right, yeah.
I had a feeling it would be.
Can you see that?
Oh no,
so
look at this.
We've gone from that no skills colouring at all to, but it's a real delicate effect, isn't it? That bright blingy thing was okay at the end, wasn't it?
It's unbelievable. If I just turn it over, that's what we've just done, which is pretty there, isn't it? It's pretty bright.
It's not good, is it? It's not great, that.
But look at the effect on the other side. Wow.
I love that moment.
Because it's been embossed, that's dominating the kind of picture in the image.
Yeah.
And then that subtlety of the colour, just, brilliant.
And I quite like just the white embossing on that. I think I would leave it as it is. And I think that's a really nice way to leave it.
Well, let's have a little look again at some of the other things that we've been working on over the hour, and also some of these stunning finished samples that you've given me here as well. Some of these I haven't actually shown yet. Can I just pick up this?
Yeah, please do.
Something that really caught my eye as I sat down to start the show with you. Unbelievable. This is probably quite an advanced project, isn't it?
So this is traced with ink. I think we've actually got a little bit of gold ink on there. It's just embossed as we've been through. It's actually got a little bit of grid work on there, which is every hole perforated. We've perforated with our 2 needle and we've snipped it out. So it's everything we've been through today.
Think about is this upside down or not? No.
Yes, it is actually.
It is upside, beg your pardon. There we go.
Yeah.
That's the right way.
Yes.
There we go. Oh, I thought that was a dress. It's not as a vase with flowers in, isn't it?
Yes, oh dear.
It could have been either. But I was just thinking, if you were in a situation where you wanted to have stationery or something like that commissioned for a special wedding or anything, something like this would be probably thousands of pounds.
Oh, absolutely.
It really would be. It's a labour of love, obviously, for you to do it, but what a stunning design this is.
And also for a wedding card where someone is going to keep that, or a christening card, then give them something a little bit special and put a little bit more into it.
And one of my favourites,
And
two of my favourites.
Fabulous, aren't they?
Those two, I think, are just absolutely brilliant.
And again, everything that we've done today, so we've just embossed, it's perforated, it's snipped, a little bit of grid work on there.
That's it. Okay, well, let's remind you then of all of the lessons that we've had in the show today so far. We started, of course, with a little bit about that fantastic history of Pergamano, because it is a craft of great heritage, but it's still going strong today. That's the lovely thing about it, the tips, the materials. We talked about that. We traced using pencil, then ink, and also felt tips too. That was a really good, effective technique. Lesson 3 was the embossing techniques that we showed you with the ball tools and the shaders as well. And the embossing really does make the whole design pop and stand out. We then moved on to the perforating techniques and all the different tools, and the snipping as well to create those crosses and everything else. Lesson 5 was the grid work. It takes a little bit of colour calculation, but the effects are incredible. If you're trying to do something uniform, then the grids are the way to go, with the straight grids and the diagonal grids as well. And lesson 6 finally was the colouring using the Perga Colours, and they are pens, remember, that are designed specifically for parchment colouring. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. I've certainly had a ball.
Thank you.
And it's great to work with you for the very first time. It won't be the last,
It
either.
won't, no. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Rosella. Great demonstrations. Hope you enjoyed it as well. The Craft Academy will be back soon, I feel sure of that. But you've been watching an hour of all the techniques for Pergamano. See you soon.